All right, welcome to the Wiley Manager Crash Course, where we give you a bit of a sneak peek into the week's full-length podcast. And on this week's full-length version, we talked about the boss that won't make a decision, Bob.
My boss won't make a decision.
So let's give folks a bit of a hint as to some of the things we chatted about in the full-length version.
Okay, sure. Well, we talk about a number of things. We talk about the consequences of an undecided boss, why your boss might be undecided, and most importantly, what you can actually do about that. So in our crash course here, I'm just going to talk about what happens when you do have an undecided boss. Well, a lot of action doesn't occur, and people become frustrated by that quickly. And some delays become emergencies. And probably most importantly, it diminishes your business or your department's street cred. And street cred's hard to come by. So, this is something that you want to look at.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, so why, I'm sure they're not doing it on purpose to frustrate you. They're not doing it on purpose to diminish their own street cred. Why do some bosses seem to have a tough time making a call?
Well, there's two types of undecided bosses, so we should delineate those first of all. The first one would be is that your habitually undecided boss. These are people that can just not seem to make a decision to save their lives. And then you've got the other boss who normally is pulling the trigger on decisions, and for whatever reason in this isolated incident is not. And you have to treat those somewhat separately. Okay, so the first thing you might want to figure out is, well, why, right? Okay, so if I've got that boss that's habitually undecided, why might this person be like that? It could be risk aversion, right? They're just a person that requires an awful lot of information before they can pull the trigger on anything. It could be perfectionism, right? They're afraid of making a mistake. It could be a confidence issue. So this person might find themselves in over their head, or for all the right reasons, they may be doing the wrong thing by trying to protect people. Okay, right? So they may not be wanting to make a decision because they're worried about it's going to have a negative impact on others. And so you need to figure out what those are and figure out how you're going to deal with those. In the full-length podcast, we do talk about how you can address some of those issues. The other thing you might want to be well aware of is that if this is an occasional thing, so if it's a second type of non-decision that I mentioned, where, usually my boss is ready to pull the trigger on these things, but for whatever reason, I just can't get this person to make a call this time. There's a very real possibility that your boss has got information that you don't. Okay, so you may not be working with good information on this. So you never know. Maybe he's at risk, or maybe you're at risk, or maybe there's an announcement coming on something going on. There's a million different things it could be, but usually if your boss is usually a decision maker and is not this time, it's because you don't know something. All
right, cool. And then on the full length version, we go into a lot more detail in terms of what are some of the things that you can do in order to if you find yourself in these kinds of situations. Very good, and you can pick that up on iTunes and or our website, wileymanager.com.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Bob.